Hey, we are here with some Star Wars. This is Red and Tooth and Claw, our Star Wars Burning Wheel game, where you guys continually get stalled from being able to go to Coruscant. And once again, this session is going to be about that because I realized, this will be the last session that we play for a little while here. Alyssa's about to have a baby, and this will be a good point anyway to kind of do an arc break. I'm hoping that we'll have enough time to do a quick trait vote at the end of today. And then for the next time we pick up with these characters, we'll be in Coruscant, and we'll just deal with all the Jedi Council stuff, and that'll be kind of our next arc of the game. So today, we'll be finishing up everything we need to finish up on Jebel. There's mainly, I think today will be about character conversations, tying up the interpersonal beliefs and stuff that you guys have with each other, and with people like the Mandalorians or Corsavel, those people. But let's go ahead and real quick, we'll run through what you guys got for Artha last time. So let me look this up. Okay, so we started with Fang when we went through it. Let me pull up Fang's character sheet here. We can go through this. Looks like you're already changing things. Yeah. So no, that's right.
I know generally what they were though. But...
Yeah. You got a fate for your first belief, which is just the order, assist the other members of the order belief, build a foundation of respect. You got persona for, I think, something about the hostages, I believe is what it was.
Yeah, taking the lead in the hostage thing. Yeah.
You got a fate point for Mandalorian belief. What did you?
Fighting alongside them.
Fighting alongside them. That's what it was. Yeah.
And getting them on side.
Yep. And then you got fate for your instinct about inflicting harm on innocents and avenging people. Not that you're inflicting harm on, but if people do so, you avenge them. And your instinct, if someone is in danger, I take their place. So that was fun. You got a humor fate point. You got embodiment persona for all the epic kind of saving stuff you did last time, rescue hero stuff. You got a fate point for sworn to the order. We had some Jedi stuff going on there. And then we can hop on over to Ryu. And all of these are in your character sheets already. We already marked everything for you guys.
Okay.
Ryu got a persona for your first belief, which was originally about rescuing the hostages and doing whatever you could to help there. So you got a persona for that. You got a fate point for your instinct 3. If I find myself in a bad situation, I'll use science to find a solution. Mainly because you made the gas for Josh's character, and it's a bad batch, right? It's not going to work like you think it's going to. So that's a fate point right there, right? It got you into trouble. You got a trait point. You got a fate point for your trait bedside manner for talking to Riss, the Padawan. And you got a persona for embodiment for that scene with her as well. Elowen, you got persona for belief 1, which I believe was about, it was your good pilot as a connection on every planet. I think it was about the refugees.
Oh yeah, saving the refugees.
Yeah, because it was about contact, connections, the people and stuff.
Yeah.
I erased the second half of it because when I was going through it and looking at everybody's beliefs today, because I was like, oh yeah, that's completed. You got a fate point for belief 2, which is informing the Jedi order of the attack. You got a fate point for your repairs on your ship because you're working towards it. You got embodiment for persona for I don't remember what again. Do you remember, Josh? What did she get persona embodiment for? That's what I have marked here, but I don't remember what Elowen did.
I think it was partially the what's it called? Even though she was getting smoke inhalation and stuff pushing through.
Yes, firefighter hero Elowen. That's what it was for. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you got a right skill, right time fate point for, I don't remember, something that came up, but I don't remember. Jin got a persona for her first belief, which was about the refugees. Last session was about the refugees. Belief 2, she got a fate point for, which was protecting your companions so you can get the Coruscant. She got a fate point for instinct 3, which is always keep others at a distance because of the the way that the conversation with Riss went, where Jen really didn't know what to say, and she was feeling kind of awkward about it. We got a humor fate point, I think, for that as well, because you like started saying, "Hey, so," right? Like the whole way you started that conversation was funny. And then I gave you an embodiment because when you did get around to talking to Riss, it was heartfelt stuff. And then last but not least, we have some empathy tests for Elwyn. Got 2 routines in a challenging for providing sanctuary, protecting from harm, resolving an issue plaguing a community. Ryu got 2 routines on empathy for consoling the grief-stricken and speaking out against injustice. And then you got a steel test, Ryu, as well, for a difficult test for having that vision, that like force vision of where Riss was. Because you have a low enough steel for it to matter. Okay, so all of that being said,
Did I upgrade my empathy?
You may have.
Ooh.
No. You need one more routine to upgrade it.
So close, my friend. So close. Maybe you will. No.
Yeah, I mean, you only really need to do one nice thing for someone, and you'll do it.
Whoa.
I'm not implying that you won't be able to. So let's talk real quick about beliefs and whatnot, and make sure we're all on the same page. We are going to have a little bit of a shorter session today, so we're not, I'm not planning on throwing anything crazy at you guys. It will be a pretty simple, like, we're kind of recovering for a moment after what happened at the mining outpost and preparing to head to Coruscant. That's there's maybe like one wrench I'm going to throw into things, and it'll be, again, an interpersonal thing, not a things explode, So without all that in mind, let's go through your beliefs and make sure everyone's on the same page with what we're going to do today. Ryu, we'll start with you. So you have the Jedi Code requires us to put the well-being of others over ourselves. That was your holdover from last time. It was about the refugees. You do have your inactive belief of the research that you could go back to, or we can wait on that for when you're back in Coruscant and can do a lot more sciencey things with the other Jedi. Do you have an idea either way for what you want that first belief to be?
So we're going to at least make progress towards getting to Coruscant. Are we going to?
Yes, I am planning on the end of today's session being the Dawn Chaser leaves Jebel and goes to Coruscant, and there is nothing that happens in between that. And when we start next session, you will have arrived on Coruscant.
Okay. So.
But yeah, I have a location here on Jebel that you guys are going to take a breather at before you.
So I could go talk to Fang.
Yes, but basically
one last time.
I'll have a place where you guys can just talk. That's the idea, right?
Is his name Gar? I forget his name. The one
Garm, the shipwright.
Garm.
Yeah,
he's still around.
He is. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave my second two. I want to get to Coruscant, so can I just make a belief about that?
Yeah,
or that not make sense for this?
Yeah, that's fine. Session? Yeah, ensure that you could get to Coruscant. I'm gonna cut
this and just put it down here because I'll use it later.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I think it's important to, whenever you make, like, especially like the first statement, the like philosophical belief, if as long as this continues to be true about your character, it's good to save that somewhere so you can return to it at another time. Yeah, so what particularly about Ryu's outlook and belief about the world and whatnot?
I'm just going to say that the Jedi need to do something about the Mandalorians.
Mm-hmm.
So my belief is I'm gonna get to Coruscant to speak to the council.
Sounds good. Yeah. Because, like, basically the one last real obstacle between you and Coruscant is repairing your ship, like, which still technically needs to be done, which is why you guys are still going to be on Jebel. The whole mining outpost blew up, so you don't actually have a chance to make that roll. And so while Garm and Garrel, the two mechanic type people, are going to be fixing the ship, there'll be some time to just have conversations while you wait it out. Cool. And then you're going to keep your other two beliefs the same for now.
Yes.
The Jedi are needed to win the war against the Mandalorians.
Oh, that's kind of...
So the second one is about Fang's dark side stuff, which is definitely something we could hit today. And then third one is about Garm's Beskar, which does need to be concluded somehow. You need to talk with him and figure out, like, are we taking your Beskar? Are you keeping some of it? Like, who has the Beskar?
This is what I'm going to do. I'm separating this piece from that second belief.
Okay. Yeah, I should go to the Roll20 screen. It's kind of funny watching Alyssa and Olivia talk on the overlay because Alyssa looks much smaller because she's farther away from the camera, and so it looks like a small Alyssa is talking to a giant Olivia on my screen. Yeah, see that, and then you're suddenly way smaller on when you go around Alyssa's. That's funny.
The Jedi are needed to win the war against the Mandalorians. Not though. I'm just gonna erase that. I will assist the crew with anything they need so that we can get to Coruscant and speak to the council about the Mandalorian threat. Is that good?
Sorry, say that again.
I will assist the crew with anything they need so that we can get to Coruscant and speak to the council about the Mandalorian threat.
That sounds great.
Okay. Fang's recent outburst is a sign. Outbursts. He's crazy. He's always threatening people. And he teamed up with the Mandalorians.
True.
So I will speak with him to dispel my concerns and help him stay on the right path. Belief 3, learning the secret to defeating Mandalorian armor is key to winning the war. I need some of Garm's Beskar for my research, so I'll find a way to acquire it.
Cool. One note about your mic. For some reason, there's like a weird kind of like thumping happening, and I'm not sure why. I think it's gone now, but I'm not sure what that was. You're muted now, I think. You're still muted. We've lost Chad. I think it's Chad's mic. I don't know. That was making that sound.
My wife is playing piano in the background, so it's also might be that.
Okay.
Is it fixed?
Keep talking.
Is it fixed?
No, okay, I think it is Chad's mic. I don't know what it is. It's like whenever you talk, there's like some kind of weird. It sounds kind of like wind noise on a microphone or something like that. I don't know if it's like
okay. How about now?
Breathing or something.
No, I had a fan on.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that would do it. Yeah,
I couldn't hear it, Caleb.
I could, yeah. Maybe it's just I'm an audio guy.
Maybe in your earphones. I wonder, Josh, did you hear the whooshing too?
Only a very slight amount. I also have piano music in my background, so I can't tell what's going on.
I think it makes sense that I'm the only
I don't
one.
need the fan on.
Okay, cool.
Do you want me to read the
my music? That's fun.
And traits too, or no?
No, that's fine. We can just do belief for now.
Great, thank you.
All right, Elwin, what do you got?
Okay, I need to come up with the second part for belief 1. A good pilot has connections on every planet. My only thought is the woman... the woman who is in charge of this place. I mean, we saved her butt, so
yes,
you know.
Corsavel.
Yes, Corsavel. So the only thing was maybe talking to her, but I don't exactly know what I would say.
Yeah, so right now she is kind of dependent on you. I think what we're gonna say is like, you know, some ships had already evacuated by the point that pirates came, right? Like they were evacuating the whole mining outpost. But I think and some of the other ships that did manage to take off with refugees and stuff are also in the clear. I think anyone who had to go on the Dawn Chaser is the only people who are on Jebel, right? Whoever had to fit in there, and that will include Corsavel, because he was like obviously like one of the last people off. You know, she made sure of that. And then I am planning on having your mechanic friend that you did a circles test for. No, not him.
No, not. Yeah, I know.
They did a circles test for on the mining outpost as one of the refugees as well, just, you know, because she was a character that we have established. So either a belief about either of them makes sense for this. Corsavel is basically kind of she's responsible for the refugees. She's also just dependent on you and your ship. So if you wanted to have some sort of thing about that, and like, I don't know what exactly you need to talk to her about specifically, but
yeah,
there
I
could be
don't
something there.
either. And yeah, because I do have a different belief, but I don't really know how relevant it is at this point. Grell has been a loyal companion while here on Terrace, but I worry his loyalty will waver when we leave. I will learn what his motivations are. I don't know that I
don't think it's relevant anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's really relevant.
I think he's been quiet, helpful person in the background. I don't know if he's been suspicious at all.
He's been helpful.
Oh no, they're still.
Hey, who's that? Can you show the camera? Who's this? Bob Bilby.
I wouldn't forget it if it was
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that comes to mind in a general sense, like from Elwyn's perspective, is just like making sure that like she knows where you guys stand or something. Like, because you know that Corsavel had like a big issue with you guys, specifically Elwyn. So if you wanted to like tell Corsavel off or
oh, you mean
generally establish? Well, I mean, if Elwyn, like this is Elwyn's belief we're talking about right now, that's the only thing you know about Corsavel, right? Is that she? Oh, I guess the other thing would be like you know that she.
Well, she had a personal vendetta against Jenna.
Yes. I'm trying to remember what
I
it was
didn't really help because I was like stalking her.
Real quick, you stalked Corsair and you found out that she was doing something shady.
She was doing shady stuff, and now I'm gathering that it's the pirates kind of a thing.
So we could close that loop. You could make a belief about that, right? You could be like confront her about what she was doing or something, right?
I will confront I don't think I'm spelling her name right, so I might have to change that. Corsavel.
Corsa. Oh,
Corsavel. Okay, got it.
Yeah, 2 names. Yeah.
I feel like the updated
Well, about her dealings with the pirates. But like I don't know, I don't really know what that's going to accomplish other than that's just what something like
I have beliefs on her end that are interacting with things here, so I think that's a good direction to go.
All right, and then my other ones will stay the same. The Mandalorians are a threat to the peace of the Republic. We must inform the Jedi Order of the attack. It's fine. A ship is an important extension of a pilot. I will ensure the repairs on my ship will be sustainable.
Yes. So you're just kind of like overseeing the repairs and making sure that everything goes according to plan there.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. All right, Jin.
All right. So my beliefs, I think, are staying pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm. So that's my bracketed note there for you.
Okay. No, I agree. It's like make Riss a Padawan when we're safe and not in danger. Wouldn't want to bring her into anything dangerous.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Jedi Order is beginning to lose its way, and so I must do what I can to bring it back to the light. Perhaps in safer times, I can obtain a Padawan.
Do you have something you want to do about that now? Then, in the immediate, if you don't want to pursue Padawan-ness?
Padawan-ness. I mean, I guess.
I feel like that's the next obvious step. Because like part of it is like, are you going to go back to Coruscant with us and rejoin the Jedi Order, right? And maybe it could be that. Maybe it does not like explicitly you become my Padawan, but it's like convince Riss to return with us to the Jedi Order and like rejoin. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, if it means having to make her my Padawan, I will.
I don't think it needs to. But maybe if you fail, she might insist. That could be one angle. Yeah. Well, how would you want to word that exactly? What do you want specifically to be accomplished there?
I guess I don't know. Recruiting good people who align with my beliefs back. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what this belief is about, right? The Jedi Order is beginning to lose its way, and so I must do what I can to bring it back to the light. Maybe Riss, redeeming Riss is a major step towards that goal. And so I will convince her to come with us and rejoin the Jedi Order? Question mark. That work?
There we go. Yes. That's better than what I was putting on.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. I didn't realize you were writing on it.
That's okay. Then number 2 is the warlords of Mandalore are a threat to the Republic. While we're here on Jebel, I will protect my companions so we can get to Coruscant and inform the Jedi Order of the attack. So this will be probably the last session with this, hopefully.
Yeah.
And the last one is I'm a better fighter with 2 lightsabers, and I'll try to acquire a second one.
Yes, we can have that conversation about the second lightsaber today. Would be good.
But Josh and I have been fighting against it because it's purple.
It is cool. Fang?
Yeah, so I've just got my first one's unchanged.
Mhm.
So that'll be Order must follow the will of the Force, not bend it to their own will. All this is the other members of the Order and build a foundation of respect. Number 2's changed to I am a Jedi, but also a gank and must maintain a good balance. I will consult with each of my companions and endeavor to learn their true opinions of me.
Nice.
And then belief 3 is my gut says to fight the Mandalorians, but it is forbidden. And currently it's I will discuss my differences with the Mandalorians.
Yep.
Because that was kind of where we left off.
Mm-hmm. That all sounds good to me. I got my notes for today's session, and I don't think any of those beliefs changed. They're feeding into the plans I already had based on your other beliefs. So that sounds great. Let me pull those up real quick. Okay. So here is Jebel, our mining outpost. Our lovely mining outpost. This is what it looked like when you arrived. Right? So, it's hanging out over the rift there. You got the platforms you could land ships on, the command tower up there. Here's what it looked like when you're flying away. Mostly exploded and, collapsed. So there you go. That's what you see as you're flying away in your ship. When you, I think when we pick up with our characters, we're seeing this, flyaway shot. And you guys head to, a conversation has happened off screen, which is basically like, where do we go to finalize these repairs? And Corsa Val is like, there's an abandoned research station not too far from here. I believe it does have some rudimentary fabrication equipment. You should be able to finish your repairs there. And you really need to stop and take a breather anyway from all the craziness. And you really you've already established we don't want to fly a ship in space very long with this state of the ship right now. So we see you guys arrive at Station Harkor. Here's our Republic research station. It is perched on the edge of a jagged glacier shelf in what Corsa refers to as the Upper Ice Ridge Basin, which, if you knew Jebel, may mean something to you, but it doesn't. It's overlooking a frozen crevasse of one sort or another. It is, as you arrive, it's shrouded in thick fog. The wind is whipping around your ship. The station's faint beacon seems to pulse every 10 seconds. You're not entirely sure, probably just to lighthouse style, make sure the ships can come land at the research station in the crazy storms that happen on Jebel. But yeah, the station itself is angular. It looks like a prefab kind of Republic design with reinforced durasteel. It's half buried in snowdrifts at this point. The solar panels that have powered it in the past are half shattered. The antenna mast is bent. One of the 2 external landing pads is partially collapsed, but the other one seems salvageable. There aren't any defenses. This is, according to Corsa, this has been abandoned for some time. It should have a geothermal power generator that has kept it going at least enough to be a place to stop and to run power here. But it's certainly not a long-term stop. Not that you wanted it to be. As you guys land the Dawn Chaser on this little landing pad over here, you're looking around and you see there are some like old auto turrets that sit deactivated and rusting nearby, but yeah, nothing. They don't operate to what's the word I'm trying to look for? They don't come online and try shooting you, so you're safe there. And I assume you guys just kind of make your way inside, ushering the refugees into the out of the cold, into the whatever shelter the research station can offer. That all seem correct. Sweet. So, here is Station Harkor. A hastily created diagram. But you got your landing pad here. There's an entrance straight from the landing pad here. There's an entry airlock over this way. Command room, cargo bay, engineering bay, some backup generators in the geothermal core, a medical wing, and barracks/common room. There's also an observation deck over here. You're not sure, in Corsa doesn't know this either, how much of it is online. I don't know how much you guys care about exploring it. It's totally up to you. Mostly this is just a kind of like a what's the word? A milieu to have these conversations in while we wrap up our season. So where do we find our characters as everybody's kind of getting settled in? Obviously, Garm and Garrel and Scrap and whoever else can help with mechanic stuff. Sparks, for example, your friend, whatever her full name was, Alyssa. What was her name? I have it here somewhere. Kara Vanar, aka Sparks, your mechanic friend from the mining outpost. You could probably recruit her as well. Either way, they're all ending up in the engineering bay, and they are going to start. Basically, the ship is right here, Dawn Chaser, and they are going to fabricate a bunch of parts and things in here, and then lug it out there and do the repairs.
Right. Well, and don't we also have the stuff? I mean, we went and got stuff.
Yes, mostly it's the equipment. The fabrication equipment is what you have here. So they're bringing the materials to the engineering bay, using it to make the right things, and then bringing it back out to the ship is the idea, I think.
Got it.
So that's going to be the main role that will happen to like make sure the ship is online and ready to go. Do we remember what that was exactly? I know there was like fabrication role we made before that failed, right? And then it was like a temporary fix.
Right.
It succeeded.
It just, I think
we did succeed. It's just it was so rapid that we thought, wow, we're
right. He did his best, as good as he could with the time he had. So now it's like, okay, permanent fix. Yeah. So I mean, we can roll that whenever it doesn't. We don't have to roll it now. That's what's going on in the background here. Garm and Garrel and whoever else is starting to get that up and running. And there'll be a couple things there if you guys poke around in the engineering bay that we could follow up on. But I'm curious. I want to open the floor to you guys. Where do you guys go? What do you guys do? What conversation are you gonna prioritize? Corsavel is, making sure the refugees are taken care of and kind of checking out the outpost and making sure everything's up to snuff. That there's no she has probably a couple of security officers with her that they scope out the place and make sure there's no hidden traps or anything, or long deactivated droids that would come to life and attack you or something. And it seems like it's relatively safe. But yeah, what do you guys do? And yes, I am aware that this says backup generators right here.
You got backup generators
and backup generators.
Wow, who are you, Caleb? Me? Like,
I think Fang probably delays for a second and just sends off a quick message to Flashbang to tell them give them an update.
Sure.
But
yeah, I mean, she
we
probably
don't necessarily have to play that out, but yeah.
Yeah. In an abstract, she returns with like, I'm almost there, basically, and then like basically, Fang, if you stay here long enough, she'll show up.
Yeah.
Which given what you know about what her actual bounty is right now, probably not the best idea. So yeah, up to you if you want to like get everyone moving faster or stall her or whatever you want to do there. Up to you.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so we have obviously Riss has found some sort of place to get some peace and quiet. She probably heads off unless someone like intercepts her and like wants her to do a certain thing. I think we end up finding like if anyone goes looking for her, she'll be at the observation deck, kind of trying to get some peace and solitude. I don't think there's any other NPCs that have anything I need to say about them. So just kind of up to what you guys want to do at this point. I guess there's the Mandalorians, which I mean they're just kind of hanging out. I don't know if they have any particular place they're going. They're just getting food wherever there's food and generally staying away from most everyone else. Real quick, I did generate some. You may have noticed that I changed the art for most of the tokens. I could not get ChatGPT to touch Fang's image with a 10-foot pole. Every possible variation I used to try to get it to generate the same basic image, except in the style I was hoping to get everybody consistently in. It continually said this violates our content policy, and I think it looks too much like a Mandalorian, like Boba Fett or something, right? And it's just like it refused to touch it. But for some reason, it was totally fine making literal Mandalorians for like images for these Mandalorian guys. But here's the art that I made for them. Here is Brel Ordo, our basilisk pilot. So there's his face. And the larger image that generates here, he's like standing with like gray Mandalorian armor and has like a big basilisk droid behind him. And then there's Drave Karras, the field sergeant. So the kind of more hot-headed younger sergeant guy who was trying to beat up Fang every chance he got. So those two are hanging out as well. Yeah, what do you guys do?
I say we start with Ryu. Let's just go top to bottom and do it that way.
Sure, that sounds great.
No problems.
Where are we all at?
So it really up to you. Basically, Corsavel is going to be probably mostly around the barracks area, making sure the refugees are taken care of, which are like mining people that were under her care. Riss, the Padawan, has made her way to the observation deck. Garm and Geralt and Scrap and any other engineer types are going to be in the engineering bay and then going back and forth between there and the ship. It is up to the other characters where they are.
Okay, I'll just start.
Sure.
So Ryu walks into the engineering bay.
Sounds great.
To look for Garm.
All right. Real quick, I'll take you to the engineering bay. Here's our engineering bay.
Ooh. What is Garm doing? Is he in there?
So yeah, he is in there right now. And here's a question for you guys. You guys found, like the Mandalorians found the big. Well, they didn't find the big thing of Beskar, but they found the hidden Beskar in the walls. What ended up happening with that? Did anyone take charge of that situation and put the Beskar somewhere in particular, or has that been lost in the shuffle?
I don't think we did anything about that.
Okay. So I think you find Geralt is hard at work, probably working with this other mechanic lady that Alyssa's character circled up in a couple sessions ago, fabricating some equipment off in the corner here. And but you see Garm, he's kind of off by himself over towards some sort of fabrication equipment. And he is trying to, he's positioned himself in such a way where anyone who walks in the engineering bay can't really see what he's up to, but he's like kind of hunched over some sort of smaller fabrication equipment, maybe like a telescope looking thing or something. Not a telescope, a microscope. But
so do we need to decide now what we did with the Beskar, or before?
I mean, it sounded like no one did anything with it. And I think that's probably the likely answer given how crazy everything has been.
So it was in the walls of what? I don't remember where it was.
So it was in the walls of like the cargo bay
of the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So Ryu sees him and
yep.
I walk up behind him and in my head he doesn't know I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's probably fine. It's not terribly important. We roll a stealthy or anything. So
okay. And I say, hey Garm, can I talk to you?
I
didn't mean to scare you.
Yes, of course, Jedi, sir. Yep. And he like turns around, still has his like back to He's covering whatever he was working on.
What are you working on? Is it something I can help with?
Oh, just helping upgrade the ship. You know me, wanting to be helpful.
Well, what are you working on? What is that?
Just making sure the hull is reinforced.
Is he still like hiding it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can I see what you're doing?
I mean, you're a scientist, I know, but I don't know if you know anything about ship hull materials, so it probably would go over your head.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know much about hull materials, but I do know something about cargo bay walls. Do you know anything about those?
He says, I can tell you the materials they're made out of.
Oh, have you ever heard of them being built with Beskar?
Ryu, am I going to get my Beskar? Are you going to take it from me? Is that what's going to happen here?
How much do you actually have in there?
A few bars. I figured that someone was going to take the lot from me, but I wanted to have some of it. And he like finally kind of reluctantly moves aside, and he has a bar of Beskar there, a small, and he's been like doing shavings of it and like analyzing it under a microscope or something.
So Ryu says, what do you know about Beskar? Is there anything useful you could tell me about it?
I know it's one of the most durable materials in the galaxy. To tell you the truth, Ryu, I was trying to be helpful. I was trying to see if I could use some of this to reinforce the Dawn Chaser. I figured that maybe that would go a long way to proving that I'm not just some 2-bit thief trying to, take advantage of you.
Is there anything I can roll to know if he's lying, or like to try to determine like?
There's nothing you could succeed on and roll.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got telepathy. That's probably the easiest way for you as a Jedi to try to figure this out.
Okay, I want to roll telepathy to be able to have some kind of sense of whether he's telling the truth or not.
Yeah. Let me pull up telepathy real quick here, and we can figure out. So I think you can like pick up surface thoughts and stuff, which is probably all you really need here. Let's see. Yeah, sense and emotion is ob 2. Sense and intent is ob 3. That's probably what you're looking for. Is intent,
ob 3, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you do have only a 3 in telepathy. Do you have any forks there you're seeing? You have meditation. That's probably good enough.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think for this, that's it.
Cool.
So,
go for it. 1 help there, and then ob 3. You do have 4 persona, so if you want to bank some of that in there,
I just want to roll it.
Okay. You have 3 fate too, so
let's go.
Nice. Just trust the dice. All right, cool. Mark that difficult kind of test.
Difficult. Sweet.
Yep. Difficult on telepathy. Sounds great. I mean, yeah, he has some beliefs that I've written down. One of them is like you didn't do the thing that you didn't do the odd that like actually tells you the belief, but he does have a belief like that's basically his goal for it is like do exactly what he just said, right? He is analyzing the Beskar to understand its properties and figure out how to incorporate into a ship design or repair. I mean, his business is shipwright, so he's not just doing it for you guys, but he's not doing it for you guys, right? Like he is telling his intent is not to screw you guys over or to take what he can and run. He also is trying to be helpful because he knows you guys are his best shot of like surviving all of this.
Okay.
So he's a complicated, nuanced individual. He has bad motives, but like he's not explicitly trying to screw you over.
I got it.
Way here.
Can you remind me roughly how much he had? Because we knew that, right? How much he was carting around.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever gave like a cash die value or whatever, but it was like a big crate full of it. It was a lot.
And he hid all that.
No. So what he did is he could sense that someone was going to end up taking that big crate of Beskar from him. And so he snuck out some of the bars and put them in in panels on the wall. Unfortunately, the pirates who were scavenging and tearing apart the entire ship found those as well.
And then did we lose the cart of Beskar at some point?
No, I don't think it ever got taken. It's still there.
Oh, so we still have it.
You still have it, yeah.
Okay. So we have it. He's with us. He's told us that it's his, like from the beginning. Like that was the whole deal, right?
But I mean, I don't know how explicitly you guys had a conversation about this with him, but basically you can, it's not a hard assumption to make that basically his plan was someone's going to take this Beskar from me. Oh, well, but I'm going to keep some of it secretly.
Right. Okay. So Ryu asks him, all right. He says, all right. Keep working on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, keep working on that. I appreciate a scientist that wants to study something and use it for a good purpose. Do you agree with that?
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Oh, of course.
So, in the same vein, can you tell me about its weaknesses, the Beskar?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm not an armorer myself. I haven't worked with the material, but I've always been fascinated by it. So I figured I'd do a little research. You wouldn't happen to know anything about Beskar yourself, would you?
I know some things. I'm clearly interested in its properties.
And like, he's not going to come right out and ask you to help him because that's not the kind of guy he is. But you can tell that's kind of what he's implying. Like we work together. Eh?
So I sense that, and I tell him, I will speak with the crew, but you will keep most of your Beskar.
Most.
And in exchange for some of it, I will assist you in your query into the material.
Oh, sure. Yes. Okay. That sounds great. Please. Then he gestures
Great.
to the terminal.
And then, can I roll etiquette to know to shake his hand or something? Just because I feel like I would shake his hand. I have etiquette.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you need to roll etiquette. I think you can just do it.
I just shake his hand or whatever I'm supposed to.
Yeah. I think anything he shakes it, he says.
And I say, do you have any around right now? Any extra bars somewhere? I won't tell anyone.
Well, and then he opens up a little cabinet below the station he's working at, and he has a couple other bars there. He's like, I just wanted to make sure if something happened, I would have them on hand.
I understand, Garm. How about you let me take one of those with me, and we'll talk again soon, and I'll let you get back to working on the ship.
Very well. That sounds good.
And I take it and go back to wherever. I don't know where I was.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. I mean, there wasn't a role to convince him or anything there, but you exchanged favors, which will involve roles. So that seems good enough to me for working on that. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's go rapid fire to next person in the list and just keep working our way down and going back and forth. Alyssa, what does Elwyn want to do?
I think I want to confront Corsavel.
Right. So Corsa is in.
Right, she's in the barracks, right?
Barracks, I believe. Let me find which one that is.
I think what I'm probably doing is I'm probably helping her distribute some food and make sure the refugees are all okay first.
Sure.
I want to help with that just because, I'm not heartless like everybody thinks I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so while the engineering bay had a bunch of cabinets and equipment and various things, the barracks has only 10 bunk alcoves. So there's some people just on the floor sitting at this point. There's heating units that are long dead, but they managed to quickly reactivate them with some sort of auxiliary power they found from the backup generators. So some of the like more injured people are like laying down on the cots, on these heated cots, getting some well needed rest. There's some storage lockers. We see maybe one of the security officers rifling through it, and you see some like old survival gear and some like Republic standard rations that are, technically probably still edible. Like they're like MREs, right? There's also like a little small kitchen unit with basic cooking utilities. Someone's probably trying to heat up / hydrate some rations for whoever's here. And Corsa is probably leaning down and talking to like an injured security officer of some sort who's on one of the cots, and basically saying like, "It's all right, Tor. You'll get through this. You'll come out even stronger, just like last time and the time before that." He like clasps her hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably off on this side, like checking on a different refugee, probably one that, like maybe is like still coughing up, smoke from.
Yeah, maybe it's the girl that you saved with Fang.
Right. Yeah, I'm like trying to like get her to drink some water or something. So I'm just kind of like listening in, and then as I'm like, okay, lay down, rest, well, I'll come back and check on you in a few more minutes. Gonna make sure some repairs are good. And then as I'm like getting ready to like leave, I put a hand on like Corsavel's like shoulder, and I'm just like give her like the follow me look and everything, trying to be subtle, but like she understands we need to have a conversation. Yeah. So you probably walk out. Let's say you end up in the command room, which looks like this. If it will load here. So again, everything's kind of icy and cold. Mm-hmm. And the command room has a central operations hub with frost-clouded hollow displays and worn consoles. The comms tower that is connected to this seems fried, but like someone is trying to mess around with the short-range comms and the internal systems and see what they can do with it. Some data logs that maybe another person's starting to sift through. And Corsa goes and stands over here, right by this like big hollow console, and just staring, and maybe with her military stance, hands behind her back, standing there, and then you come to stand next to her. Yeah, I probably like put like one hand like on it, and then like kind of leaning towards her, and I'm not trying like Eloin's not like being cocky. That's not like what it is, but it's like it's more like a sympathy. Like, so how are you feeling right now?
How am I feeling? Lucky to be alive, I suppose. Thank the Force and all that.
Well, I imagine you must feel pretty guilty right now.
She raises an eyebrow, but doesn't say anything.
I know we had our talk about doing what it takes to, well, keep our people safe and keep things running. Doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together about what happened earlier today.
Just so we're on the same. I guess that's probably not an idiom that would be in Star Wars. On the same page is what I was going to say. They don't really have books.
Hologram.
Yeah, no, exactly. That doesn't sound as right.
So we're on the same planet.
Wavelength.
Wavelength. Yeah, there you go. Wavelength.
Just so we're in the same sector about this. Let's. How about you lay out for me what you think happened today?
I don't think I need to.
She's just waiting. She seems very unfazed.
Okay, lack of empathy for your people. Got it. How many were injured today?
She gives you a hard look. Like, oh, come on, you don't know what you're talking about. You say how many injured?
How many injured today?
She gives you an exact number, like right off the bat, like instantly. She's like 17 here. probably a couple dozen others on the a couple more dozen on the other ships.
I certainly hope it doesn't lead to any casualties. Very fortunate that we were here to make it so that it wasn't any casualties.
There were casualties. 5 by official count, though there are plenty. There are a few more MIA.
Very fortunate again that we were good. So I probably would have known that. I like.
I mean, I don't know if you would. Like, she has like people to like take like sense or not census, but like take inventory of all of this for her. I don't know if Elwyn would have been in the know.
Sure,
but you probably would know that some people died. Maybe not the exact
right.
number.
Like that's not what I was trying to get at.
Yeah,
like basically, he was trying to be like
it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse. Yeah.
Yep. Again, she's like letting you. She's like you have to make the accusation here. I am not going to make it for you. Like you say what you want to say.
All right. So basically, Elwyn's just going to be like, I prefer the people that I work with to be honest, because I'm also a truth teller. And if that doesn't happen, then I guess I have to go into my own investigation at that point, which the Jedi Council will certainly request. And that is a bit of my specialty. But if I happen to know the whole truth, maybe it doesn't really matter. I can just let it go.
She gives you a slightly amused look and says, do you really think the Jedi Council is going to care about one mining outpost in the face of the Mandalorian War?
I care.
Oh, I know you care, Elwyn. And I care too. But you're going to accomplish nothing and get absolutely no support if you do a witch hunt of what happened here today. I did what I had to do. Today and the day before, and every day of my life. I only do what is necessary. I have no regrets. If I did, I made sure to rectify them long ago. Again, you can lead up to an ugly truth here somewhere.
Yeah,
and try to
I basically, she's just gonna like. I think the last thing she's gonna say is the fact that you have people dead should make you regret, and the fact that it doesn't makes me sad, and I don't trust you. I don't trust somebody who doesn't feel repercussions of their actions.
I don't mind that you don't trust me. Jedi, I don't trust you or the rest of your companions, but I will do whatever I need to make sure that these refugees get to Republic space safely. Is the Dawn Chaser still willing to offer us that? Or if you come here to tell us that you're leaving us here? Very Jedi of you.
I would never leave refugees behind. Even you, I wouldn't leave behind. I was just curious if you were someone I could trust later on in life.
You were curious if I wanted to turn myself into the Jedi for doing what was right for the mining outpost, and...
Well, the fact that you still think that it's right tells me everything I need to know.
Do you know what isn't right, Jedi? The way that terrorists continue to screw us over every single shipment. The way that terrorists continue to refuse every request I made for additional manpower, additional resources, additional equipment. I did what I needed to do. What was right, Jedi. Sometimes we cannot make the infinite calculus of Force users such as yourself. But us normal people, we just live with the consequences of our choices. And it is not always our fault. So don't give me this Don't give me this. I will not give you what you want here.
I don't think you really know what I want.
Don't I? You want me to apologize. You want me to regret my actions. You want me to beg for forgiveness. Anything to make you seem like you're above me. Like you can still claim some sort of moral high ground as a Jedi. If I know anything about Jedi, that's one of their favorite pastimes.
Trust me, I am one of the most morally gray Jedi you could probably meet, other than maybe some of my other companions here, which has been a surprise.
I think you guys are less morally gray than you think you are, but
Probably. Again, I've already told you, I have no problem with doing what needs to be done. I was not suggesting that you apologize even. You just simply won't give me the truth, and that's fine. That's all I asked for.
Okay, that seems like an ugly truth test there. It's a complicated truth, but I think there is something there.
Yeah. I mean, basically, she's just like, just be honest, and like, I will let it go.
Like, admit to me what you did, and we'll move on.
We'll move on. Like, that's all I want.
Let's give it an ob 4.
Oof, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I can throw anything in here.
Technically not an interstellar outpost.
No.
I don't knowing about interstellar outposts doesn't really matter here, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
This is a very interpersonal.
I would say she probably.
Truth.
I don't know if I could throw in Jedi doctrine. That seems like maybe a bit of a stretch.
I don't think she cares about Jedi doctrine. No, sorry, change it to the wrong thing.
No, it's okay. No, it's not that, but just like, she basically was claiming that like, oh, I know you guys like your high horse, and I'm like, I don't think you would know anything about what we talked about. I didn't like specifically.
I don't think you had any explicit Jedi doctrine stuff that you said, and even if you had, I don't know if it would have swayed her at all. So
it mattered. Okay. The only argument I could maybe make is criminal operations wise, but I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I'll give it to you. There is something here about like the shady deal that she was making that makes sense to.
Okay. Let me actually hold on. Let me see real quick. Oh, now I want a difficult test. So, because if I do 6 dice, then it becomes a routine. I'll just roll my five dice. I want to get a difficult test on this.
Right.
So it's fine. I'll take it.
Gutsy.
If I could get more forks, I'd probably do it. But since I'm like, nah, 1 dice isn't going to make a difference on if I succeed this or not. So, base off 4. Oh,
all right.
Okay. Oh wait, why did I put base off 5? I'm sorry.
Oh no, you didn't. You had it. I think you have a wound.
But I thought we said that was going to go away.
Well, you do have to make the health test, but we can make it now and then bump it down to 4 as the op.
No, but I thought we said that was going to go away after.
Oh, that was from your.
Because it was just from like the smoke, I think.
Yes. I think we should basically just treat it like a wound and have you make a health test. Like it would still be bothering you if you hadn't gotten it taken care of.
What's the health test again?
I believe for superficial just 1, right, Josh? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just 1 health test just to try to clear it real quick. Oh, you only have a 2 in health.
Yeah, but it's all right. I need some tests. So
yeah.
Okay. Well, I make it.
Yay!
Yeah. So it's actually only 4. Is that still difficult for you?
I'll go ahead and roll 1 fate. Why not?
Yeah. Just
I got 1 dice 1. No luck for me.
Close.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But
yeah. So I think she says, where are you taking the Dawn Chaser next, Jedi?
Coruscant.
I think she says, trying to think of some reason think your failure here means she's going to try to get you to go somewhere else first and be like, no, like for the refugee's sake, like we need to go X. I think she says, these refugees will get lost immediately in Coruscant. That's almost worse than taking them to Terrace. We need to go to X planet. She has some sort of more rural planet, maybe Dantooine or something.
Tatooine.
Not Tatooine, Dantooine.
Oh, Dantooine. Oh, the fake planet.
I think it's an outcast, or in the Outer Rim. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Somewhere, Alderaan, whatever. She's like, we need to go here first. I have connections there, and I can make sure that all my people are taken care of. If we go to Coruscant, they will get lost, and I will not be able to help them. We're going to go to X. What do you do?
Question. I'm debating if Elwyn would push back on it, to be honest. I think I don't know that she would, to be honest. I think she would just kind of be like, all right.
Is it out of the way?
But with the repairs, jumping the light steep, I don't think will be a problem. Like, it'll be fine.
Well, unless a giant rock falls on us again.
As long as, is the planet, I'm assuming, it's not
super out of the way, no.
Well, it's not even a matter of out of the way. It's a matter of, is it more on the inner part rather than the outer part of the rim?
Yeah.
Okay, then, I don't think I would have a problem with that. It'd be like, fair enough. Then I guess I'll never see you again after that. Good luck.
Yeah, and I think she stares at you. Can tell that she wasn't expecting you to fold on that so quickly. She even phrased the last bit of her thing there as a command to intentionally irk you, right? We're going X, and then when you just fold on it, and you fold in such a way that it doesn't make it seem to her like you were scared of her authority. It was just oh yeah, that's fair enough, right? Like a peer. It kind of throws her for a loop because she was gearing up. She has a belief about this. She was like, if there's any question about our destination, I'm going to officially under Republic law commandeer the Dawn Chaser and force them to go X, right, to X place. And because you just gave in, she's stumped for a little bit, and then she just says, very well. Well, then I suppose I should
go make sure the repairs on my ship are doing all right. Go make sure the refugees are good, especially that little girl. Poor thing swallowed a lot of smoke.
She nods, and you cut her off.
I give her a salute and just Commander.
Yeah, and you walk away, and I think I don't think you realize this, Alyssa, but she was about to say, I suppose I should say something like "the Force be with you," and you cut her off and just said what did you say again?
Commander. I don't know.
No. Before that, I need to check on my ship, and so it kind of made her feel even more awkward because she, and then you walk away and she's just standing there every part of that seemed just started throwing her for loops, and she's very unsettled by the way that ended. We see that on her face as you walk away.
Blue screened her.
Yeah.
I get the last word, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Whatever.
Like it.
She can get what she wants, and I can just be like, cool. Then I guess we're not going to be allies, and that's fine with me. Bye.
Yep.
Away with all
that sucks because I would love to, have, I probably would have taken you there no matter what. But now it's just well, that's a cutoff for me now, I guess. So that's fine. When we get to that planet, I'll just try to make a new ally there instead. It's fine.
Yeah.
Be sure, I've never been to that planet before. I'll circles up somebody. Let's go.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily you guys are actually going to go to that planet in the game. It's mostly about the interpersonal part of it. Cool. Olivia, what
would like to make a circles test though to see if I know anybody on that planet, so that way she can't say my name, be these terrible Jedi or whatever.
Yeah.
Tarnish my name.
How about you make that circles test right now? Let's get that in writing. Whether or not you're oh yeah, I know X. We'll go there, right?
Okay, cool.
So, what kind of person are you looking for there? Again, I'm thinking somewhere a little bit more rural, a little bit nicer, Alderaan.
Right. A nicer city. Honestly, I didn't have a particular like person in mind, but maybe I know somebody at like one of the outposts, kind of a thing, like maybe one of the commanders of the outposts or something like that. Or
Sure. Yeah. What are your life paths again here? Star Pilot, Jedi Sentinel. Okay, it will have to be like same setting, but not same life path. So I think it's going to be probably just ob 3 circles.
Okay. Well, I only have a 2 in that, so
I know. Yeah.
I'm trying to get a routine. Okay.
Yeah, cause this can't just be like innkeeper, because like this person has to have at least enough clout to like make Corsa be okay with going there. So
right. Can I use interstellar outpost wise?
you can make a link test with
Like a
interstellar
link test
outpost
with
wise.
that.
Yeah.
Can I try for that?
Yep. I think ob 2 is the standard.
Okay.
There.
Probably won't help me, but if I want any chance of it being a routine, might as well try.
Let's do it.
Anything I can't. I'm assuming I can't fork in anything into this.
Initial outpost. You could use streetwise.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Base up 2. Oh man. Oh, hold on. Ignore the.
Oh yeah, take that off. Yeah, so you succeeded then.
Okay, but no help though.
Succeeded.
I succeeded, but I don't get any.
Yes, because you got 2 on 2. Yep.
Yeah, because I got 2 on 2. That's okay.
Does that mean they feel neutral about you?
I think that is a routine test though. Instead of
yeah, I did. I checked it as a routine. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't have. Why do I not have any reputations or affiliations?
Well, here's the question: do you have what are your traits? I think you. Wait.
Well, no, I have
knighthood is the trait that gives you a affiliation with the Jedi.
She does have familiar face though.
Yes,
which will help with the circles
It just won't get me a routine test, so that's what I really want.
Yeah.
I wanted to check and make sure you didn't have an affiliation or something that we weren't putting on your sheet, but no.
No, that's okay. All right, I'll just go ahead and roll it then. I still make it, just won't get a.
Won't get the test you need.
Won't get the test I need, but that's all right. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put an Artha in here for just. I got 3, might as well.
Yep.
Base ob 3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There you go. 2 6s too.
Oh, hey. Well, I'll go ahead and roll my. This is the only time I'm going to roll circles.
Yeah. So familiar face of 1 die there.
Yeah, might as well do that first.
And that one don't do as okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess I'll roll 1 fate to reroll 2 dice.
All right.
1, 2. What the heck?
Oh, yikes! That's a bummer.
That's not cool.
Yeah. So you don't get the the cool.
No reason I should have found that.
I know. You don't get the cool person that you wanted. But the conversation basically ends the same though, with her.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
That just makes me mad because I should have succeeded on that. That's so mean.
Especially with the amount of stuff you spent on it. That's pretty cruel of Roll20.
So mean.
All right, cool. Jin, let's hop on over to you.
Well, Jin, not being a peoply person, would probably want to go to the outside too and perhaps try and chat with Riss.
Yeah. So we head to the observation deck. Here's the observation deck.
Gosh, it looks depressing.
I know. Everything about this place is kind of cold and dark. For sure. There we go. Oh, it's dark. So, observation deck, there's a semicircular viewing platform with frosted over glass panels. One panel is cracked and lets in the icy wind. A great vantage point to watch for weather changes or approaching ships. And I think part of it, like you are all like slightly aware as you guys are looking around the place. This is sort of like a weather station, basically. It's like researching the weird weather patterns of Jebel and warning ships and stuff of like the weather patterns. So this is an observation deck too. to check out some of the storm systems. It does look like someone clearly slept here at some point. There's an old blanket, a data pad, an empty food tin can. And I think Riss just has grabbed that blanket and is sitting on this little bench over here, Jen. And looking forlornly out the window. It's pretty cold up here, that cracked window. But, she lived in an ice cave for most of her life, or, a good chunk of the last few years of her life. Yeah, she's just sitting there.
I guess Jen would walk there, just quietly, not trying to bother her too much, and have some, I guess, probably like a little bit of quiet for a bit. She's awkward, or I'm awkward, therefore I make her awkward, and so Jen would probably say it's like nice quiet place up here, right?
There's your token sitting on the bench. Yeah, nice quiet place. She says, I like the wind. I didn't hear it very much when I lived in the caves. It's soothing. I like the way it feels on my face. And like a gust kind of goes through, kind of like circles around the observation deck as like a gust of wind hits the cracked window just right. And she shivers, but like in almost like a good way.
Does it remind you of home?
She frowns. Home. I don't think I've ever established where she's actually from originally. I don't think it's an ice planet. I think she just says that. She just says home.
That aside, it's been a pretty eventful day for you. Makes sense why you'd want to take a break from everything.
It's hard to be around so many people. When I was in the caves, that was always a sign that something was wrong, hearing other people's voices. So I learned to stay away. I don't think I'm right. I have a hard time talking to other people. I don't think it's just because I lived alone for so long. I don't think I've ever been very good at it. I feel like even before my master abandoned me here, I pushed everyone else away. I didn't make very many friends when I was an apprentice. I don't really know how many friends I have now. I'd like to think that you're my friend, Jin, but sometimes I think this is all just a big dream. Like none of it's even real, and I'm still there by myself, and I'm gonna wake up. I don't want to wake up.
Wow, you can feel the cold breeze on your face. That's a good sign that you're not dreaming.
Yeah, guess you're right.
Hey, you don't have to be good at talking to people. Heck, you've seen. I'm not that great at talking to people either. I think I've gotten myself in trouble more for what I've said lately than not. But it's not about that. I think what matters is our intention behind what we say. And sometimes, perhaps, maybe others don't necessarily understand that all the way, but the true friends do. it's okay if you don't have a huge bunch of people who you chat with and relate with. But I think just maybe one or two people who you can talk to is enough.
We're going back to the Jedi Order, aren't we? To Coruscant? The temple?
So far, that's the plan. Look, I haven't been there in a while either. We're probably both going to stick out like sore thumbs, but we'll do it together.
That's so good. That's probably a good place to try to make a roll here. Let's see here. Persuasion is like your best skill, but let's see if this is something else.
Is it a soothing platitude or is it a persuasion?
I feel like it might be soothing platitudes because it's like it's less about convincing her of anything in particular and more just being like I'm here, calm down, comfort. Like that's kind of the vibe we're going for right now. You can certainly fork in persuasion, but I think this is maybe a soothing platitudes test. Any other forks you want to argue for?
You could probably put in Jedi doctrine. I don't know.
Did you say anything Jedi doctrine related in what you said, though?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
And that's true. Jin's not one to really be in love with the Jedi doctrine per se. We'll just straight up try it as it is.
Let me check what her will is. Okay, it's a 4. It's not any higher than that. Still kind of difficult. Let's take a look at anything else here. So soothing platitudes, one help from persuasion. Honestly, you can probably fork in Fringer wise. She has a Fringer life, like she basically lived by herself like a wilderness lady for years, that's exactly the sort of person Fringer is getting at. So you can fork on that too. You know how to talk to weird hermits in the woods and things.
I have been a hermit for 7 years.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably it though.
Okay, so then I get 2. But then what's my ob?
Ob is 4. So this will be difficult. How many persona do you have?
I have 3.
All right, yeah. I mean, up to you if you want to spend any. This does seem like a kind of important role, though.
Yeah, I will spend 1 then. So 2 helps. And 1 persona. No, 1 Artha.
One
right?
Artha, yeah.
Ob 4. The font changed.
Yes, I upgraded it to the... Ooh, nice. Way to go. That's a good roll.
And you got a difficult test, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if she needed it, unfortunately.
No, you did not.
She needs some routines. It's kind of hard to get like routines on will-based skills like this, where like the ob is always someone's will. I guess you need to talk to like literal younglings or like have a bunch of forks and get like a bunch of people to help you on things probably to get those routines. Either way, I mean, I think that's perfectly what she needed, right? She just needed to know that she had a friend for real, that all this was actually happening, and that like that especially like the camaraderie that you offered there of like, no, we're both going to stick out like sore thumbs. Like, don't worry about it. Like perfect. Definitely embodiment persona for Olivia today. That was great. And I think we can probably, and up to you if we want to say anything else to her right now, or just like sit with her quietly or whatever else you want to do.
I think after that, they'd probably both sit quietly and meditate or just watch the wind.
Yeah. Sounds great. All right, cool. Fang, what do you want to get up to? I think you're muted.
I think I might chat with Ryu.
Ryu, all right, sounds good. Where do we find the two of you? There is a medical bay.
There is a medical bay.
Do we want to hang out over there and check it out?
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds good.
All right. That is number 4. So yeah, here's our med bay. We got 2 Colto tanks here. One is cracked and not going to work. The other does seem still like you can turn it on and fill it with coltel and stuff. There are cabinets with med packs, other random, medical things. It looks like a hollow diagnostic unit that doesn't have power right now, but I mean, given the state of everything else in the facility, you probably could get it to power up. But I'm assuming that maybe we find Ryu in here, like scavenging for extra medical supplies, because why not? Like, right, you can always use a med pack or two.
Yes, that is what I'm doing.
Cool. So, yeah, Ryu, you walk in.
No, Fang, right?
Or sorry, Fang walks in on Ryu. Yeah.
In fact, he probably sends you a comm link, like asking where you are, and that's how he comes to find you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just down here in the med bay, looking for scraps.
Yeah, and then he'll kind of turn up. He says, "Hey, Ryu, I used one of your comm diffs. Worked pretty well.
I didn't know you still had. I didn't know you had any left."
Yeah, and I gestured down, and there's literally only one missing, I think, or no, two, because I used one on some Mandalorians at one point.
Yeah, I mean, there's two explanations for why Fang has been doing what he did. He didn't use them at all, or he used them right away and ran out. Seems like neither are true.
Look, I found a bunch of medical supplies. This is going to be great to take with us.
Yeah, you do a good job with them. I've still got that weird grenade thing that we didn't end up having to use it at all.
Oh, that thing. Grenade. That thing's broken, right? It's dangerous.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
Yeah, I was talking to Kayla. Do I know? Oh, I don't know that either.
No,
okay.
We don't.
Oh, good. Just don't get too excited about using it. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to say that. You seem a little excited sometimes.
Yeah, and I think Fang kind of looks at you and sizes you up. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell that he's doing it. It's just like a silent helmet for a bit. He says, I'm just trying to think of what Fang may have noticed. Can I just make a roll, Caleb, just to maybe even just graduated, just to see what I may have noticed about his opinion so far?
Oh, about Ryu? Yeah. Don't you have special Manhunter and stuff?
I do have Manhunter. Yeah. It's just I don't know what in specific.
That's what I figured. Yeah, that's true. That's what I figured you were going to be doing for your belief there, since you had that.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at that real quick. Oh yeah, it's on your character sheet. Manhunter. Let's see.
Because I think.
I guess part of it depends on if Ryu has anything on his character sheet. Like you could do.
It'd be like belief.
Oh yeah, you don't have that on Manhunter. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Would, but it's like a high DC.
Well, no, Manhunter doesn't have the option to. It's based off of aura rating obstacles, but it does not allow you. Like Manhunter specifically does not allow you to do beliefs like aura rating does. It has up to instinct at 6.
Yeah, cool.
So let's see. I'm just taking a look at what
Ryu has.
What Ryu has on his character sheet that you could look at. Yeah, it really would have to be the belief, because he doesn't really have anything else, or just I guess intent. I guess I think intent is probably the closest we have here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll roll that, and I know what I'm going to say if it succeeds or fails. So
cool.
So it's perception. It'll be open ended. Perception 2 helps. No Arthur and base obstacle 4.
Close.
Close. Yeah, I'll pop a couple of fade in there. Why not? Two, one remaining ob, 2 dice.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, so you're aware of his general intent, which is, I guess, in this conversation, I guess you can just generally sense maybe his concern, right?
Yeah,
but nothing specific, right? You don't get his actual belief, just like this general sense of his intent of concern towards you.
You seem worried about me, or for me, or something. I haven't been able to make head or tails of it. Is there something specific that's the problem?
Fang, first of all, I've never spent much time around ganks. And yeah, you're right. I am concerned, but not. I am concerned, but not in a way that makes me think poorly of you or anything like that. Just so you know, I've seen how angry you can get and a bit enraged at times. And I know you're a Jedi. I know you know the code. But sometimes, to be frank, it seems like you stray very close to crossing that line of between the light and dark. And I am just putting this out there because it is something I've thought about and it is a concern. But I was waiting for a time to talk to you about it, but doesn't seem like we've had a break recently from people we've had to fight and ships we've had to fix.
You're right. We haven't had a lot of time.
Do you what do you think? Do you share my concern about yourself, or help me understand? Like I said, I haven't spent time around ganks.
First, let me say you're not alone. My entire career has been pretty much one person after another shunting me on to the next one because I'm too much of one thing or another. The guy who initially taught me said I used the Force instead of letting it guide me or just having it as a flow thing. I'm not entirely sure. He was a rich guy. I didn't really understand him. The next guy I chatted to, well, he said that, well, he was a bit of an odd duck. But he said that peace only matters if you have the passion to protect it. But then he also said that, well, he said I was too aggressive. I joined the Jedi Order, and it's been a long-running struggle of them saying that I'm too much of one thing or another.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know whether I officially fall under someone's definition for something. I know that I stand for good, and that's not going to change. I think that when you see injustice in the world, if you don't get a little bit angry at it, then that sounds like a pretty poor way of going about things.
I understand that.
I don't think anyone can be fully impartial and just judge things based on some kind of arbitrary set of rules. There's got to be some morality.
There is. Yes. Would you say you've ever tapped into the Force through your rage? Or do you think that your rage, and I'm sorry, maybe you don't even, think of it as rage, but that's how I see it. Is it something that's just separate from that? What I've been taught is that the dark side of the Force is fueled by hate, and it's how those who use it connect with it and connect with the Force through their hate. Have you ever felt that?
Not really.
That's reassuring.
In my experience, I think a lot of people, both light and dark, tend to try and bend the Force to achieve what they think works.
Hmm.
The Jedi bend it to try and make things good. The Sith bend it through whatever means to make things according to their own will. I think that maybe sometimes the Force should be allowed to push people to do what it wants.
Well, how about, well, I would like to give you some more of those commatives and just reassure you that if you ever do feel like you've crossed a line or are close to it, and I hope that I would do the same with you, is that you would talk to me about it, or at least let me be able to speak to you about it if I have a concern like this in the future. But I will say that having traveled with you this short amount of time already, but already I see that you're an honorable Jedi and you put others first. It's just not in a way that I would do it. But I'm happy to be on this crew with you.
I think that's probably where we roll, because I think the linchpin here is not like, I'm sure that no matter what, Fang is going to be like, sounds good, but like, or maybe I'm wrong about that, but like I feel like the decision point here is like, does Fang think that Ryu is being genuine here and is truly like, yeah, I want to understand and whatnot, or are his comments about like, well, maybe you should take some more commatives, or have you ever felt the dark side? Maybe you just feel that as patronizing or something. What do you think?
Because I'm open to either Ryu making a role or Fang making a role. I think if we go to Fang making a role, Fang's basically going to say, "You've seen that I'm honorable. I want you to trust me." Like, to not just shove drags in my face, so that if I need to,
didn't you ask?
He may be a dynamite. Yeah, like I did ask for the ones that I've got. I'm just saying I don't want any more. I don't want you to trust me as a person to take them if I need them, or
I see.
Yeah, like I want it to be. I want your trust to be in me, not in that I might have a limiter when I need to.
Let's maybe do both. I think we should start with Chad. I think we should have Chad make a test of some sort here to be genuine in some way. Because Chad was the one who kind of like made the big speech there at the end. But then depending on how that goes, maybe Fang, we can see how Fang's feeling about it after that, and then have you maybe make a roll.
I just don't even know what I could roll.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Persuasion.
I forgot you don't have a. Yeah, I feel like it's just it's like either persuasion or soothing platitudes. I mean, might as well just roll it because you want to learn this anyway, so you can use your so you can have it with your Pantaran call on. Which you do have now. You know, you can re-roll stuff. Let's go for it. Let's try it. And I don't necessarily think him failing here is going to be like big bad consequences. It's probably just if he fails, that's the impetus for Fang to be like, okay, listen, like this is my situation. You need to trust me, right?
But I can still say that Ryu, whether he believes I trust him or not, I can still say that I do, right?
Yeah. It's just whether or not you were able to come off as genuine to Fang. Yes, your ob is 6.
Oh my.
Do we have any like advantage dice here? For like previous, have you guys had like previous conversations like this that maybe have gone well, or
I think I talked to you about it once before, didn't I?
Yeah, I think it didn't go well.
It didn't go well. Okay, yeah,
because my will is so high. I don't think it actually went anyway.
I think Fang is just a very willful person. He does what he wants to do, and
Well, he came to me to figure out what I thought.
I think the only thing this role is going to decide is how forceful or like, you know, how exactly Fang says his thing, right? It'll be maybe a little bit more intense if you fail the roll.
And then I'll be like, dang, this guy is on the dark side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Fang fails, then yes, probably. But yeah, let's have you roll this and fail. I mean, there's always the chance you get like all 6s and can spend fade or like reroll a bunch of failed dice. You know, it's always possible technically with Artha, but honestly, not a bad roll, all things considered. You might as well at least do your call on.
Yes. What do I roll?
So that's 2 dice. And since technically you're not doing fate here, here I'll just do it for you. I'll do the kind of the macro here. Oh, snake eyes.
But you get a challenging on your will.
You do get a challenging on your will, which is one of the things that I think you had a 4 to start off with, or at least maybe a 3 to start off with in this game, and you've been bumping it up. Yeah, I mean, you could always spend some fate, Ryu, if you really cared, but
no, I only have 3. I'm not doing that.
Okay, yeah.
I have less fate than Persona.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the things that I queued onto too while Ryu was talking, was that like most of it sounded genuine, but like whenever he talked about like, you know, maybe you should take some calmatives, or like, you know, have you ever felt any dark side urges? Like that kind of felt a little like therapist-y, kind of, you know, slimy, you know, sort of thing. So, but yeah, up to you how Fang.
Because he is worried about it.
Yes, of course. Yeah, so at some level, I think Fang still thinks that Ryu doesn't quite get it about like the way he's going about things, and you know he's still a little bit too worried as a Jedi. Yeah, what do you say?
Look, Ryu, I am a Jedi through and through, but I'm also a gank, so it's going to look different to your regular folk, like a weird fish man in the ocean, or even someone like you. I want you to trust me. Trust me with this. I know you've seen me be aggressive and you've seen me yell, but I think that those different ways of doing things are probably the only way we'd have gotten through that situation.
Maybe.
Jedi doctrine says that there's no passion, only peace. Well, we're heading into a war, so seems like there's a lot of passion and peace on not much passion, not much peace, and a lot of passion. It's going to take something to bring it back down to peace.
I think
give up my passion when everything calms down.
I think I think that Ryu actually agrees with that. So, like, because he hates them. He really, I mean, I don't know if he hates them, but he really does like the Mandalorians. So he says, I can understand passion in war, for sure.
All I'm thinking is it's going to take more than just a few calm words to pierce Mandalorian armor.
And Ryu like makes like a face like what does this guy know? Like that kind of face.
Look, and like Fang like puts her hand on Ryu's shoulder and it says, "You have my word that at the first sign that things are going a bit chaotic in my mind, I'll come to you. And you can pump me full of all the drugs you want."
Oh, I don't know about that, Fang. But thank you.
Yeah. Can I make a roll to like have that be like sort of maybe even resolve your belief?
Mm-hmm.
Like say that this isn't something that you're worried about for the near future until you see something that really like jolts you out of it.
Does that make sense, Chad? We have Fang make a roll here now based on what he just said to basically close out that belief and be like, okay, I need to trust Fang. He's got it under control for now. Maybe we'll bring it up at some other point, but like,
yeah, he's going to persuade me or intimidate me.
Yeah. Probably not intimidate.
Yeah. Not intimidate.
Okay.
I don't think that could accomplish what he wants to do here. Cool. Ryu's will is 5.
Yeah. So I'll use where it is. Where is it? I'll use soothing platitudes as a fork. I'm not sure what other ones there are. Like I've got etiquette and maybe Jedi doctrine, because we did kind of go over what the doctrine says and things.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that there's much else here. Maybe conspicuous, but I don't know. Oratory. We'll just go with that, I think. I am going to put a couple of persona in here, both to get closer to upgrading persuasion and other reasons. So that's fine. So it's 2 helps, 2 Arthur, and base of 5.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Way to go.
That's really good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, all right, cool. So yeah, I think Fang and Ryu are buds now and are going to work together to stop the Mandalorians. Maybe with a little bit of passion, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so look.
Fruit.
Haha, that's the weakness of Mandalorian armor. The acidity. I think the one thing we need to, I think I will probably not have flashbang show up since we're already pretty close to the end of the session. That would throw a wrench in things too much. So I think we need to do 2 more things, and then we can close out with Arthur and stuff. I think we should real quick, Fang. We should figure out what we want to do with the Mandalorians, and then we should make the roll for the repairs and sail on home.
Before he leaves, can I just have Ryu be like, "Hey, look what I got from Garm," and then he shows him the Beskar.
yeah. Because I'm imagining like next arc is going to be a lot more like like conversations with other Jedi, research. I'm sure there'll be some cool like Coruscant political stuff that we could do. Maybe go fight some people, but like mostly I think it's going to be like political intrigue, research, all the stuff that Bernie Wheel does pretty well. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Josh, where do you want Fang to talk to the Mandalorians? How do you want to set that up?
Good question.
Given our station here. You meet at the GAC-up generators?
That or the barracks, probably. I mean,
yeah, barracks is like full of refugees right now. But I guess
that's true.
that's where they're getting.
Yeah, we can probably go GAC up generators then. I don't want to go to the backup generators. That's weird. I want to go GAC up generators.
I mean, yeah, it certainly could be that. Could be the junior thermal curl or the cargo bay. I think those are the three places we haven't been. So up to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll just go GAC up generators.
Sounds good. All right, let me find that here. Here's the GAC up generators. Oh wait, there's a B on that. It's a backup generator. Yeah, so it probably, like the Mandalorians are just kind of staying out of the way. So they're just hanging out here, not for any particular reason, but because no one else is here. So they're kind of, one of them is sitting. They have probably what is the equivalent of like an MRE and a little sci-fi, warmer thing between them. They've heated up the MREs and are like chowing down on it with their helmets off. Here amongst the backup generators. And they nod when you approach, but don't say much more.
Yeah, and he kind of just like leans against the backup generator. Waits like a couple of minutes and just observes and then says, "Why do you fight?"
Brell looks at you with a raised eyebrow, but Drave kind of grunts and just keeps chowing on his food. I think Brell says, "Surely you know something about Mandalorians. We fight for the glory of the kill, glory of battle, the thrill of all of it.
That makes sense. I appreciate that.
Only through battle can you prove yourself as a man, a warrior, someone worthy of respect."
Makes sense. So why attack the Republic? Is it just because, they make me decent fighters?
He sniffs. I think, and then Drave, mutters. Well, you got plenty of soldiers.
Yeah, and most of them are bloody awful. It's like taking a magnifying glass to some ants and saying, "Oh yeah, we're good warriors."
I think Brell grins. And he looks straight at you and he says, "To be honest, Fang, because we want to fight you." I fought on the outer rim. I think it's possible I may have even met your Jedi friend. Jin was her name, a few times.
Possible. She does come from that way.
Yeah, she looked familiar. Either way, I've seen Jedi in combat. You like to talk about peace and justice and all that boring crap, but I've seen you. You're demons on the battlefield. There's something about freefall, about dropping from a ship into orbit, riding a feral droid into the atmosphere. I'd like to think it's sort of what, sort of the closest I can get to the thrill of tempting the dark side, Always wondered about that. Feels like the sort of thing it feels like the sort of thing that's similar to jumping off a cliff. Sure, it's going to be fun for a while, but unless you have something sturdy beneath you, it's not going to end very well. Fascinates me. I want to see it again. I want to see that edge in a Jedi's eyes. When I know there's not peace between his eyes. Something else. And I don't think you realize it yet.
From what I know, the dark side's more like a pit of oil. It's a really good fight. You're struggling, pushing, going hard. But at the end of the day, you're just sinking. Just in a really fancy way.
Fancy way that gives you lightning. Right? Isn't that true?
I can get lightning a lot of ways. And he just like whacks the backup generator. Some are really boring.
I think Drave says, enough of this. We're not here to talk fancy with the Jedi, bro. You still promised us a fight, and I know you think you got off the hook by having us fight some mangy pirates, but I still want to fight you. You hear me?
Yeah, no, I know. I promised you that fight. But I think I may be one of about 4 that I know of that would. I'm probably one of 2 that would be actually up for it.
Well, then what are we waiting for? You to build your nerve up?
No. My nerve's been settled a long time ago. I just think that the thrill of the fight is something worth chasing. The issue is when you whack 2 people wanting the thrill of the fight against each other, one of them winds up dead. That's a pretty big waste.
Waves you off, sits back down.
What happens when all the fighters run out? When the Mandalorians have conquered the galaxy, what are they going to do? Fight each other?
Brell says, there'll always be someone else. Whoever rises up against us, probably. In the meantime, there's always hunting. These other beasts out there.
Aren't there a lot of beasts now?
He doesn't answer.
I think there is a lot of ways to satisfy a quest for thrilling fights. Some of them, like the ones that you Mandalorians are going on about now, just wind up with a whole bunch of hurt people. A whole bunch of people who weren't worthy of fighting. Who wind up getting caught in the crossfire as collateral.
I think you can see in their eyes, you have like manhunters, so I think you can see in their eyes that part of this is like they're looking at you with the look of someone who has a religious or philosophical belief that they haven't shared with you yet, but like is flavoring everything you're saying. Like they're automatically, it's bouncing off of them, and they're like, "No, you just don't get it. Like there's other reasons beyond what you're saying here for us to do this. Like you think you have a point here, but you don't." That's the vibe you're getting from their eyes. Probably just could have had you roll Manhunter. But.
I think Fang stops for a long while. And I think he says, you know, when you guys first attacked Taris, when we fought you lads, when we started heading home, we were only stopped by the state of our ship. I'm kind of glad that we were. Because if I'd gone straight home, if I'd gone straight to the Jedi Council, I would have urged them to step up to the plate, to fight back, to fight against you guys. I don't know that I want that anymore.
Drave seems very disappointed. And even Brow like frowns at that. He's like, what, you getting sentimental on me, Jedi? You made friends on the other side, now you've lost your taste for war. We're not friends, you and me.
No, it's more of a pity. You want to fight, but you got nothing to fight for. You fight, your purpose for fighting is some random chemicals going through your system. If you want chemicals, I've got them. Make and manufacture them. I've got to sit you in a pod and pump them through you constantly. Put you in one of those weird bactopods. Or not bactopods, whatever they're called.
Colto, yeah.
Coltopods, and put those through you. If you want the adrenaline rushing through you, well, do that as a medical. Get one of those droids and pump it through.
I don't think you understand us at all, Jedi. We aren't hedonists.
I don't think I do.
We're not hedonists. We're not thrill seekers. This is what makes a man a man. This is how you prove yourself. This is how you show the galaxy who you are. It doesn't matter if the best warriors die. That means the other life gets them. And maybe we keep fighting there. Have you considered that maybe war is everything? War is all there is? The amount of times this galaxy has gone into some dumb conflict or other. It's the way of the world. It's how things work. Even you Jedi know that. The amount of wars you fought. What was it, 10 years ago?
Yep. It was. And you know what every single person who came out of that said? You know what the Jedi Council's standing orders is?
Cowards.
Sit around and do nothing. The war that you guys are carrying on is one of two things. Either it's hedonism, and it is about the thrill of the fight, as you claim, or it's not about the thrill of the fight. It's about being a man. It's about what other people think of you. Well, I'll tell you what other people think of you. You just bombarded a bloody planet for no reason. Killed a bunch of randos who hadn't a chance of fighting you, all for the hope of maybe making some other guys who don't want to fight you fight. You're thought of as warmongering idiots. You're right. We are different. And it's not just because your mates would have picked you up on this planet and they won't pick me up. So I've got something worth fighting for, and you don't.
I think it's probably a good enough place to make a roll. What's your intent here? What do you want them to come away from this conversation thinking? Because they have other stuff they can counter with here, but I am curious if you've gotten to them in any way.
Yeah, I think. Let me think.
Like maybe an ugly truth.
Yeah, it might be an ugly truth.
Like you're not like
Might
trying to
also be
scare
like an
them off
oratory.
or something. Right?
No, I think
Yeah, oratory makes sense.
probably oratory is what he's trying to do. He's trying to give like a speech of like, do you think you've got something worth fighting for, and yet you can't even explain it to someone what you're fighting for? It's just to be a man, or like you've basically been told that this is what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what are you actually fighting for?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I probably should double check. I think there's two answers here for them. Like one is you're right and they don't know what they're talking about, or neither of them have like actual like philosophy. Which like they could. There's a life path as like philosophy warrior guy that definitely some of the Mandalorians have, and they know more about like the reasons why the Mandoa fight, which are deeper than this. But I think it makes sense that these two, that's as far as they go, right? So I think either way, oratory, ugly truth. I think the thing you could accomplish here is like changing their beliefs about the situation in some way, right? Like that's kind of what we're aiming at here. Is like they'll go back and be like, oh yeah, maybe we should have something worth fighting for, and then they'll have to figure that out. That's probably the biggest thing you'd be able to accomplish with them.
Yeah, I mean I'm happy.
That
with
makes
that.
sense.
That's
Okay.
an outcome. So yeah.
All right. Oratory. Let's see. We got a will of 5 and a will of. Wait, did I say 5? I think both have a will of 4, so it's just 4.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Actually, wait. Let me double check and see if they probably have beliefs against this. That would maybe increase it. Let's check. Yeah. Well, at least the field sergeant certainly has some.
Mm.
Let's see. Yeah, so if you want to convince him, that'd be an ob 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but with a 4, you'll convince Brell.
Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna do that, and I think I think maybe like to like finish off the statement, Fang literally says maybe you should calm down and think about what it is you're actually fighting for before you get yourselves killed. Yeah. So yeah, I'll do oratory. Can I fork in interrogation, because I've been trying to wheedle out them what's actually
Sure.
what their purpose is. Intimidation, trying to say like you'll just get yourself killed for no reason. Yeah. I don't know that I was soothing.
I don't know. Like most of what you said has felt way more like ugly truth than intimidation. Like I don't think at any point you've really been trying to, because like intimidation is more about like threatening them or scaring them. I don't think that's really either of the things that you're doing. Like I think
I was thinking more of like like I'm playing this off as I'm confident, not I'm delaying this. It's like we could fight and then you'll die and that'll be the end of this.
Yeah,
like,
I still feel like it reads ugly truth to me. It's more like this is the way the situation is rather than here's what I'm going to do to you or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so I think we'll say no on intimidation.
Yep. I will do conspicuous though, because like trying to frame myself as their opponent kind of thing.
Yep. That makes sense.
I'll fork persuasion.
There's still an aspect of presence going on here, even if you don't get intimidation. Yeah.
So I think it's 3 then. If I'm not getting intimidation, 3 helps.
Yeah, so set the ob as 4, because that would be the base ob, and then
yep. I don't want to put in Arthur.
Graduated from there.
Base ob 4. Yep. Yep. Cool.
There you go. Nice job.
Cool.
Yeah, so like there is a deeper reason here in the Mandalorian philosophy why this is all happening, why the crusade has begun. These 2 random guys don't know it, right? They maybe think that they do, but they actually don't. And so, especially Drave, he just like like waves you off or whatever. But you have gotten to him here, and he will change a belief based on it. Brel definitely looks more troubled about the whole thing, but I think he does in the end say like, "Hey, you still don't understand everything you claim to understand, Jedi, but I see your point. What are you going to do with us now? You going to give us our fight? Or our friend's going to pick us up?"
I'm open to a fight. I think you probably shouldn't look like Mandalorians when we land, but we get home, get back to Coruscant. I know a guy who has a little training area.
Drave is already shaking his head. He's like, "Absolutely not. We're not going with you to Coruscant. You think we're stupid?" Brel gives Drave a look like, "Well, I think you're stupid, but..." Yeah, Brel's also shaking his head. Oh, he's like, "If we're fighting Jedi, we're doing it here. Right now. It's our last chance." And I guess you could maybe make an argument, like try to convince him of it, but
I think maybe this is where he comes in with. It's like you can see his like you can clearly see his like gauntleted hand like counting to 10. And then he turns around and he like bangs his fist against the backup Jedi and says, "Will you guys stop trying to die?"
So do you want to roll? You're rolling intimidation here, just to basically be like, "You don't want to fight me." Okay, yeah. I like that. I like that. It's so good. Yeah, I think we'll go with. Let's do same sort of thing, but like Ob 5 is the base, and Ob 6 is going to convince Drave. He's just stupider, right?
Yeah.
He's more stubborn about this.
Yeah, so I'll do intimidation. I'll fork in conspicuous.
Mhm.
I think that's about all I can do.
Probably, yeah. You can fork in persuasion.
Yeah, cool.
You're trying to convince them to do something in their own best interest.
Yeah. And then no Arthur, base of 5, was it?
Yeah. And then graduated, if you get 6, you get Drave too.
Yep. Oh, no. Nope. That's Arthur. Base obstacle 5.
Nice.
5. I will do
the...
no, I've got a call.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got dreadful, which is very fitting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll just roll
6 I think.
dice.
Yeah.
66 greater than.
There you go.
Extra.
That's all you needed. Yeah, so they look at you a little bit shaken. And I'm not really sure what they say to that. Like you've obviously convinced them, like you were intimidating in this moment, but I don't know how much they want to admit that that's that they're scared or whatever. Like that's the reason that they're going to say no to this. So they look at you shaken for a moment, and then Brel speaks up, maybe with a little bit of a hoarse voice, and he says, "Fine then. Then leave us here and we'll rendezvous with our men. You owe us that, Jedi."
I'll see about clearing it with the others, but yeah, sounds fine by me. Maybe you'll even get that fight you want.
Yeah, and that's what
you don't.
that's what Brel is already kind of nodding. And he says, "You know what will happen if we meet on the battlefield. And I don't think, and depending on how it goes down, it might not be as clear cut as you think. We'll see."
Yeah, I know. You'll have 100 on your side.
He grins.
Might even the odds. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Do we want to just say that the ship is fixed and we can go on to other?
Yeah.
It is close to the.
I think so. Like, they're probably gonna have a bunch of dice on this. I think what I'll probably do, I think Garm was going to attempt to like do some like Beskar stuff and maybe try to upgrade the ship a little bit, but that's probably something I can do by myself off screen and just figure out what the NPCs were up to. I think it makes sense to go straight to Arthur from here, if that makes sense to you guys.
We can do Chad first.
I do technically have a belief about it though, so I was kind of hoping to like do something.
Yes. I mean, maybe let's have you do this. We can just kind of abstract it, but how about we see if you can get your mechanic friend to actually help, like make a roll to convince her to help out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sparks.
Right. Yeah, Sparks. Yeah. And like this might mean she becomes more of an important character, continues hanging out with you guys.
Oh man. Whatever. Okay. If I had known that was the route I was going to take, I would have, because wouldn't that just be circles?
Dun.
It could be circles again, but she's here, so you can always do ugly truth or something. I guess, and that's your only real social skill.
What was she wasn't going to help us?
Right. At the moment, that could be the ugly truth, right? So you got something better to do?
Do you want us to send you back to where you were unemployed in Cheval?
I mean, like I guess that's the thing that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right? Like, is there even a role here? Like, of course she's going to help us because she wants to get off this freaking place.
In all actuality, Elwyn, I'm not sure there is a role. There would be a role here either way for you, right? Like
okay, and that's fine. I just wanted to see if there was something I could do.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I don't know if there's.
I probably would have just been giving a helping dice anyway in there. Okay, that's fine. Let's just go to Artha.
Cool. Let's do it. All right. Let's go through this. Ryu. Let's take a look.
Yes.
So, assisting the crew with anything they need so they can get to Coruscant. Did you assist?
I didn't really get to do that.
Yeah, not that there really needed to be any particular assisting. Yeah. So we can ignore that for now, I think. Well, I mean, so my plan is that what's his face? Garm was going to try to do some like upgrading of the ship's hull. And I think you being okay with him using Beskar and stuff like that is part of that. I'm going to give you a favor for that first belief. Yeah. I think that was part of helping.
I agree.
About Fang's outburst, I think we've decided you've completed that for now. So Persona, as long as we're all on the same page about that.
Sweet.
And yeah, I think I'll give you Persona. Like, you didn't make a roll towards Garm, the Garm's Beskar belief here, but you promised to make a roll in the future for him, basically, right? You're going to help him with his stuff.
Yeah, we made a deal.
You made a deal, yeah, and it will involve in-game mechanics being tested. So I think you get a Persona for that one as well.
Sweet.
Well, let's take a look at your other stuff. Instincts. None of those came up. Bedside manner.
Hey, can I get a point for my third instinct for offering Fang commodities?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Take a fate one for that. Science, Fang. Cool. Yeah.
Also, that's tending to a medical need, at least perceived need.
Yeah. I was thinking of. I think that either that one, the third instinct, or bedside manner was the thing with the commodities,
cool.
And I think only one of those will apply, right? I think
fine.
instinct 3 is the most likely.
I think that's cool.
Yeah. The only other thing I was thinking about for you, Chad, is in terms of, let's look at the extra Artha stuff here. Let's see. I noted a couple things down in chat that I thought happened. Did anyone else think that like Chad got humor or embodiment for Ryu at any point here? Anything stand out to you?
There was something I said that we were laughing about, and I can't remember what it was.
Look, if we can't remember it, I will be re-listening to the session later on, so I
Okay.
Yeah. You can
I
always.
think it was when I was
ping us
talking to Garm.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Take a fate point for humor. I think there was something there. I really enjoyed that conversation in general in a humorous way. So yeah, I think you take a fate point. I don't know. Do we think?
Chad was funny in how he talked about the building materials of.
Yes.
wall.
Yeah. Do you know anything about walls? Yeah. That's what it was. I am curious about the conversation that Ryu and Fang had, whether or not Ryu got embodiment for the stuff. I thought he did a great job playing Ryu, but do we think it's embodiment worthy? What do we think? I'm kind of teetering on the edge of it.
What was the telepathy roll for? Because that could be right skill, right time as well.
Oh, true.
That was
Yeah,
for
you know
Garm.
what? Yeah, you take right skill, right time. Take another fate point for that. That's true. Having the ability to read his mind and that was definitely important and a particular skill choice that you made in character burning. I'm wondering about Mold Breaker actually. Maybe the whole thing with Fang and Ryu was Mold Breaker for Chad. Because it was kind of conflicting. It was like, he was really worried about this dark side stuff, but he does have a bunch of other stuff about the Jedi Order and wanting to help the other Jedi and all that stuff. The war against the Mandalorians is a big thing there for him. Is like he worries about the dark side with Fang, but he also understands that the Mandalorians need to be taken down. I think we'll give you another persona for Mold Breaker, Ryu.
Okay.
I think is what happened there. Yeah.
Yeah, I had fun. Tonight was fun.
Yeah, I really like this session. I'm really excited, Chad. Ryu is going to have much more chance to shine in the next arc, I think, because it'll be a lot more like talking and research and not having to go from fight to fight and obstacle to obstacle. A lot more chance to kind of pursue your own goals and stuff. It'll be fun.
Sweet.
All right, Eloin, and at any point, Chad, you need to duck out. That's totally fine. If you could keep Zoom on, even if you turn off your camera for just for the time we do that, that would help me with the overlays. But you can duck out if you.
I have
a
few minutes.
Okay, cool. Elwin, let's take a look at your stuff. You confronted Corsavel. Now, did you succeed on your? What did you roll there?
I rolled an ugly truth. I did not
And you
succeed
failed.
in getting to
So I'll give you a fate point for it. You could have broken her down and there could have been a whole big thing there, but it ended up being okay, we'll pass ships in the night and move on.
Yeah.
So fate point. And then inform the Jedi Order of the attack. If we had more time, I was gonna give you a chance to try to rig up the radio here and get get to course, get in touch with them now. But
and then I didn't get a chance to work on Blue 3 either. So.
Yeah, I think we'll just have to move on from that for now. I'm going to give you a fate point for always tell the truth. I think Eloin, that was the main reason that whole thing happened, and it was interesting to see play out. But I think
that's probably
it. Did I might have written something up here. No, okay. Anyone have any other suggestions for Eloin for the extra Arthur stuff like humor, right skill, right time, embodiment, Mold Breaker?
I don't think so. I wasn't particularly funny. I only rolled 2 things, and they weren't super interesting skills. And
cool.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sounds good. All right, Jin.
Yes.
So you convinced her to come with. So persona there. Yeah.
Yay.
You didn't have a chance to protect your companions. I had an idea, if we had more time, I would have had Fang's bounty hunter friend show up and cause a little bit of mischief, and Jin could have had a chance to stand up to her or whatever. And we didn't actually. Yeah, that's I guess the other thing is we didn't actually have a conversation about the 2 lightsabers. How are we feeling about that, Fang and Jenna? How are we feeling about that situation right now? Is this something we need to cross off our list and just get it over with, or?
Fang's character still really likes the purple. I think they would need to talk about it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering, right? Josh is how Fang is feeling.
Yeah, I think it would be good to still keep it and
okay, just worry about it next time.
Have it as an interaction. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. I promise we'll eventually get you a second lightsaber, or at least an attempt at a second lightsaber. All right. I'm gonna give you a fate point for always. No, probably not always keep others a distance, but lonesome. The vibe of going up into the observation deck with her and being all alone and just hanging out and being like, yeah, we're two misfits, peas in a pod. That's definitely was fun to see. So fate point for lonesome. And then I wrote down persona for embodiment. I can't remember the exact moment, but it was like it was right after the soothing platitudes. It was yeah, we both stick out like sore thumbs was the line that really got me. Like you just like kind of calmly explaining to her like how you're also a misfit too. That was great. So another persona for embodiment. But I think that is it for Artha there. And then Fang, we've got. I mean, you certainly built a foundation of respect with Ryu for that first belief. How are we feeling about that belief? I will assist the other members of the order and build a foundation of respect.
Yeah, I think maybe that's shorter goal is done. I think that it can probably move on to being something about the order itself rather than just.
That sounds great. Yeah, let's give you a persona then.
Yep, cool.
And you didn't consult with each of your companions, but you're working on it. Do you still want to do that? You want to go to each of them individually and have like a similar scene? And okay, so we can get fate point there, but then we'll worry about that next time as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep going with it. And then you discussed your differences with Mandalorians. I assume like you made a roll, you got it, made it clear to them what was going on, and I think that's the persona there for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look here at instincts and stuff. I'm just laughing at if someone is in danger, I take their place. The like, you're gonna die. Don't attack me. But I don't know if that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. I think maybe instinct 3 because that's what kind of drives half my beliefs is wondering what other people are thinking, wanting of me.
Yep. I want to give you a humor. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I wrote it down here because I wanted to remember it. I think it was with the conversation you had with Chad. Something at the beginning of the conversation that you said was funny. I don't remember what it was, but I did remember enough to log it there. So you can take a fate point for humor, and you had some funny stuff with the Mandalorians too. So there's lots of good lines. And honestly, just the like banging the thing, like you want to die. That's worth your fate point right there. And then embodiment for Fang. The entire thing with the Mandalorians was so good, and I loved it. That's great. So I'm assuming that we're gonna let the Mandalorians sail off into the night and get picked up by their Mando buddies. Fang said I'll confer with my companions, but I'm assuming. I feel like it's way more interesting if we get to see these guys again in some battlefield somewhere later in the campaign.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
If everyone else is.
Everyone cool with letting the Mandos go? Since they helped you guys?
Yeah, that's well.
So that's my question. I don't know if Ryu is actually.
I don't know that Elowen's so much okay with it as she is just like, well, I don't know what I was gonna do like against them. So
right.
Sure.
Made peace with it. I mean, it would just suck if they try to kill us later.
Yeah.
I think Ryu would begrudgingly be okay with it because he knows he can't just kill them because they're prisoners.
Yeah.
So he probably hopes that we can find them again and fight them later.
You'd be violating HIPAA. You'd be harming your patient. HIPAA, the Hippocratic Oath. There we go.
Well, if they're still alive after I fight them, then I'll help.
So
That would
They
be
can
insult
go.
to injury to them, honestly.
Okay,
I think that would be
Eventually I need to give
We
a
just
challenge.
keep beating them and then healing them just so that they never get to die gloriously.
And I just keep leveling up my lightsaber.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. I think I also want to nominate Fang for Moldbreaker with the Ryu thing. And both of them had like conflicting beliefs and instincts and things, like going back and forth there, trying to figure out like what do we care about? Why do we believe what we believe? Where do we go from here? That was fun to see. From there, we have possible empathy and steel stuff. But one thing I wanted to touch on first is we are at the end of an arc. So I would also like we should nominate someone for a workhorse persona point and a MVP persona point. So this would be workhorse is who did all of the behind the scenes work in this scenario, and like to make sure everything was happening behind the scenes. And MVP is who was the crucial element of success, the guy in front of everything, just like making everything go. Who do we think those people are?
Definitely think MVP was Fang.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just the whole like. I mean, his like
He's a very dramatic character.
very dramatic character, but like he also like he did well with fighting as well as intimidation
and
Yeah,
rigging.
like just getting us through. Yeah, like just really getting us through this arc. You know,
his call on traits and his humor. The beginning of the last one was so good.
Oh, I know. I clipped it. You can watch it on here. I'll link it in the Discord after we're done here, so you can watch it again. Yeah, that makes sense to me. MVP for Fang. Who do we think was the workhorse? Did anyone have like a bunch of behind the scenes work that happened that made everything click in the end?
I feel like it was Elwyn because
I
she's
feel like
been
Elwyn's
trying
a
to
good
get
nomination.
the ship fixed this whole
Yeah,
time, and like meeting mechanics and flying us, like all these different. Like she's just been the main one getting it done.
Head first into danger.
Yeah, I think I agree. Especially because you're like shadowy and sneaky too, so that's kind of a workhorsey sort of thing. Like I'm
And she's like not up front having to fight everybody,
Exactly.
like, but she's still making the story move.
Because Jin and Ryu were up there like crossing lightsabers, or along with Fang. But yeah, Elwyn was always like, I'm just gonna stay over here and do this other thing. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me. Yeah, so
take on like the biggest sergeant of the Mandalorians in a house with whole one lightsaber or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's what it was. So workhorse persona point for you, Elwyn. There you go. Cool. So I think we can probably wrap there. We do have like some empathy tests that we may have gotten, and maybe a steel test. No, actually probably no steel test, but there may be some empathy. And then one thing I would like to do before we start next arc, we're getting past time that Chad asked to be done, so I think we can call it here. But we should also do at some point a trait vote, which is we look at everybody's character sheets, and we usually, I think the max is like vote 2 traits on and remove 2 traits from any one individual character. Basically just looking at their sheet and being like, did they do this at all? No, they're actually not this at all. Let's remove it. Or what Jin really needs to have? She needs to have the trait X, and we need to give her that to her. That's the sort of thing we're looking at. We can also decide that someone needs like a reputation or an affiliation that they don't have. That sort of thing as we kind of shift the arc. But that's something we can do probably off screen. I think we can probably call it there. But just something to be thinking about is like how did the characters change in this arc, and then we come back next time we can see what that looks like. All right, cool stuff. Thanks for playing, guys. I am not entirely sure when we'll be doing this next. I think Alyssa has offered like maybe Elwyn takes a back seat for a little while or something, if you wanted to keep going. But we can talk about that in the Discord and figure out how we're feeling about the next situation. I need to come up with some stuff about like how the Coruscant arc is going to go anyway, and like what the main players are going to be and what they care about. So that's something we can always just chat about in the Discord and figure out where we want to go at everyone's leisure. But yeah, that was a really fun session. I'm glad we had the chance to have some fun character conversations. And I think that's it for now. This has been Right in Tooth and Claw. Thanks for playing, guys. And thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We're out.